Hey, I just want to show you some of the new upgrades to the Snappy Xano MCP tool. So these are some features that many of you have been asking for specifically. So they're almost ready. I've actually just reduced the scope to get some of these core features into your hands more quickly, but I just want to show you what is working right now. So firstly, I've redesigned the landing page so it's cleaner, more intuitive, and has also a dark mode now. So once you're actually in the dashboard, you'll notice that it's been redesigned. So documentation and being able to install it is just more clear. You'll see that there's also quick access to the weekly MCP workshops that we're holding. So we actually have one coming up today. And if you're watching this, I hope you can make it. And what people have been asking for the most is actually multiple API key support. So now you can add um, multiple API keys and you can control the permissions from the Xano side. So setting it up so that it's read or write only, and you can label each key appropriately. And then once you save it, you can actually come over to this management page and you can switch between the keys with this drop down. So when I try to switch, you'll see that it says invalid API key. So it's validating the key and it won't let you switch unless it's actually proper credentials. And another thing that I'm working on here is the ability to specify which branch you want the AI and thereby the person to have access to, and also the workspace. So this is a way where the AI agent is operating in and a way to control the permission levels for different access scenarios. And this is something we're refining and just kind of finalizing. But the idea is to be able to assign, if you have different team members, you can give them specific workspace and branch access. And so this would be especially useful for agencies that are managing multiple client projects. Then you can ensure that the AI is only going to touch what it should. So that's a little bit about the dashboard. I want to show you some of the enhanced building capabilities. So I'm going to switch over to Claude and demonstrate in Workspace what that looks like. All right. Now I'm asking you to go into Workspace 8 and learn about the tables and the schemas, and then to create a new API group to learn about how to use the SDK tool and the functions that are part of the SDK. And so it can do all the stuff automatically. The SDK is actually a JavaScript-like syntax that I've put together so that the AI is able to build in a way that it is more familiar with and more comfortable with, as opposed to writing with raw XanoScript. And we will see how that goes. Okay, so we can see here listing the tables. If I just click over here, you can see what's being returned back to it. But now it's going through and it's grabbing the schemas for the tables. So it's making sure, as I told it to be clear on what's existing in the system before it starts building. And now it's created an API group. You can see that it's called SDK Demo API. And so now it wants to create an endpoint. And you'll notice that, as I said, it's using the SDK to build this endpoint. And so it's able, because it's using the SDK, it's able to get feedback, right? And you can see in the feedback, it's telling it to avoid certain operators and syntax for it to look out for. And this is really, we are able to get much better results. You can see here on this attempt is where it worked. Now we're going to see what else it's trying to do. It's trying to create an authenticated endpoint to get the user profile, to create a sign-up endpoint. And if I come over here and I find the group that it created, which is SDK Demo API, these are the endpoints. And you can see that it is actually building them while really leveraging Xano to its strength. There are so many different ways to express what you want in Xano, and lots of ways for the AI client to get it wrong. It could, for example, put in null just with those quotes, right? That means you have to go back and you have to fix every single time that it does that. I've put it on so that it's not able to, that option really. I'm refining the output so that it's something that is easy to validate right? And to debug and get it to where it's working with in as little time as possible, right? Like now it's getting to the point where it's percent, if not 100% by the time that the AI outputs this. So this is what it's able to do now. I can tell it, build me another point and we'll make it more complex. So what I want to do is also show another strategy for building these endpoints. What I like to do sometimes is just build it up step by step. So that way you can see as it goes through the creation of this, it will, again, we can see that it will use the SDK syntax, which is, doing a whole bunch of auto correcting and uh, fixing in order to make sure that the XanoScript is coming out in a specific way. That way is the way that leverages Xano to its strength. And you can see it's adding more and more logic, the same way that a person would. So you wouldn't just go and create an endpoint all in one shot, right? You would build it up function by function, working through the logic. Actually, when you tell the AI to work through it that way, it tends to reach in a more efficient way, actually. I've found at least. If I look at the outcome of this, okay, so it's giving itself its own rating, but let's see what that looked like over here. So, okay, this is actually a really good example. So we're creating this variable we want to subtract. It's using the subtract filter. It's using the multiply filter. If we want to, it's using obviously conditionals and then nested conditionals and applying a discount, applying a different discount. And again, using these filters for multiplying and subtracting, using these set filters to prepare the response object as the last step before returning that response. This is very consistent. Like you can see that now just in a few minutes, it also has the ability to build out background tasks as well and reusable functions too. So I made it so that this SDK, which allows it to build this way, also works for the other two pillars of building in Xano as well. So yeah, it generates proper XanoScript syntax. It understands table relationships, and it adds in the proper logic that we want, and it now really understands and creates XanoScript patterns that are production ready endpoints, not just like basic scaffolding, but really endpoints that are very useful to use in reality. So these features are here actually and ready to use, and the team member management will be coming up soon. And if you like, you can join our MCP Wednesday workshop today, where I can dive more into this and show what building with this new tool looks like, answer your questions, and help you get set up, especially if you're an early adopter. So these upgrades make Snappy more powerful than ever. The multiple API keys just give you more flexibility that people have been asking for. And this will save you hours of development time. I'm very sure of it. So if you attend today's workshop, you'll get priority access to these new features. And that's all. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you today.